Some of you may know that recently I've successfully completed West Highland Way. We did just over 100 miles with little detours. The whole way is 96 miles and we did it over 7 days, wild camping. My whole backpack weighed about 13 kilos, that including 1 liter of water and food. I was very happy with my setup and I thought I'll do a video walking you through everything you need and everything I brought for my West Highland Way. So I hope this is helpful for you in case you're planning on doing a West Highland Way or any longer trail where you want to have everything with you in your backpack. And hopefully I'll be able to share some tips, review the equipment that I brought and tell you which of those items were extremely useful and which were not so useful. So apart from everything that I had in my backpack, I also had this little bum bag, crossbody bag. I usually just carried little things like tissues, a little light. I had my little woven lights. I reviewed it some time ago in one of my videos. You can check it out here if you'd like to see an in-depth review of that later. I usually carried some little snacks, sometimes my power bank. When I would carry my phone in my pocket, power bank in here, and I connected it with a USB cable. Now the most obvious first thing is my backpack. I bought it from Decathlon. It's the 4 Class or Simmons. It has both of those brand names on it somewhere. There's 4 Class. It is a MT 900 light, 50 liters plus 10. I believe the main body is 50 liters and then all those little pockets plus the little head is 10. It's a very nice backpack. It cost about £130. It's got a little net that separates your body from the main body of the pack so that there would be more airflow. You can adjust the height of the main straps by pulling that little pulley tab. It's nicely padded. It's got all the things that you might want from a backpacking backpack. It's not ultralight. None of my gear is specifically ultralight. It did the job. I was very happy with it. I can highly recommend this backpack. It's got many different pockets. The head compartment, there is one pocket over here. There's another one underneath it. There's the main body. And a good thing about the main body part is that it's got a zipper along the whole thing. I've also lined it with just a bin bag, just in case it was raining. There's a front pocket that stores quite a lot of stuff. There's side pockets on each side, here and here. So that's the backpack. It's got a metal frame. As you can see here, metal poles. It's very well constructed. It's very sturdy. It really did help me a lot to carry all that weight with me. Right, so first of all, starting with my sleeping system, I had my X-Mid-1 Durston tent. It's a very lightweight tent. It's a trekking pole tent. I cannot recommend it enough. It's a little pricey. It comes to about, I think, £320. And if you want to ship it from Canada, it will cost you an extra £100 thereabouts. So it's not cheap, but I really like that tent. You can see it on many of my videos, so just check anyone out from the tenting playlist. And if you've never seen that one, although I doubt it, it's an amazing tent, very lightweight, very compact. You just need hiking poles if you want to use it. Then I got a snack pack sleeping bag. It's the Softy Expedition 3 with built-in LED lights. It's a synthetic sleeping bag. The comfort rating is -5 degrees. It is summer right now, and I did it at the end of May, so I didn't need anything more than that. It was more than enough. As for a synthetic sleeping bag, it's still pretty light and pretty compact, and it only cost about £90. I really like it. The only downside of it is that the stuff bag is very tight, so you really need to crumple everything properly and very small, and put some elbow grease if you want to stuff the whole sleeping bag into it. But apart from that, I cannot fault it for anything. It's very wide, which is something that is important for me, because it's got an extra additional panel to extend it. The whole sleeping bag on its own is 80 in the chest area, and if you use the extension panel, it's extra 12.5 centimeters, making it 92.5 centimeters wide across the chest area. Great sleeping bag. I really liked it. Now my sleeping mat is the Trichology Aluft Ultralight 140. It's got a built-in pillow, which some of you will not enjoy. Again, check out this video if you want to see a more in-depth review of this mat. It was relatively cheap. It was about 50 quid, but it might have been less. And it might have been more, I just don't remember. It's a good little sleeping mat, nothing to fault in it. As long as the inbuilt pillow doesn't bother you, you can't go wrong with it. I've also brought a Trichology Aluft Plus inflatable pillow. I didn't end up using it myself. I gave it to my dad and he used it. And it's a great little pillow, cheap. You can find it on Amazon. Continuing, I brought some spare pegs and spare guy lines. I didn't end up using any of it, but I think it's always worth to have some backup if you're doing a long trip like this, because you might just end up having a horrible night if you end up losing a peg, or you snap a guy line or lose it. It's always good to have some backup. I didn't end up using it, but I'm glad I brought it. I brought a mosquito and midge net, and if you've seen the video, which I recommend you watch, of my trip of West Highland Way with my dad and my uncle, it was an amazing trip, very difficult for me, but we had great time. There was a ton of midges, like a plague, as you can expect in Scotland, in the Highlands especially. The end of May, that's when the midge season starts. So if you're planning on doing it anywhere between May and September, I recommend you have something that will protect you from the midges. Anytime there's not much wind, and no rain, the midges will be there. The net, it is what it is. It looks stupid, it's not super comfortable, but it helps you when you set up the camp. So I've used it on a handful of occasions. Alongside it, I've also had my Expedition Max mosquito repellent. I would say this is pretty useless. I've used so much of it, and I've used some other sprays that my dad had and my uncle, and we combine all of it, and it seems like the midges just don't care. So do you need it? I'd say maybe it helps in a small percentage, but all in all, you just have to muscle through the midges, I believe, have a net and have a lot of patience and just look for places that have some wind going through them, just so you don't end up being extremely miserable. So I do not recommend this. If you know of any better spray or cream or whatever that actually helps, because I even tried the citronella candles, nothing worked. So this is the only thing that actually helps you. Just before we set out for West Highland Way, the weather in Scotland, in Edinburgh, was amazing. We had like 2 weeks of sun, that you could actually get a tan in Scotland. And then, so I decided I'm gonna buy some sunscreen. I ended up never using it. If you know the weather is gonna be good and a lot of sun, you can bring it in with you, but I just stuck with my little hat, and that was enough for me. This is a pseudo cream. It's just a cream for like burns and your skin rubbing against your skin. It was helpful, but I ended up buying a Vaseline in one of the little shops that we stopped at, because Vaseline worked better for me. Some hand soap. I got this OEX Flax pump. It also works as a light. So that came in handy. It just saves you some time and effort when you pump up your mattress. And we ended up pretty much using this one pump on one charge throughout the 7 days, every single day. I think each one of us, apart from one day, I think my uncle didn't use it, but apart from that, I think every night each one of us used it, and the battery lasted for 7 days. So very good purchase, super happy with it. Lightweight. There's a bag. Get out bag. I had another light with me. This is a light, Eventech, that I found on Amazon for £20, I believe, or something around that price. It also works as a power bank, and this is what I used it mainly for. So it's a really good light, but it's a great power bank as well, because it's 20,000 milliamp hours. So it lasts quite a bit. It's not by any means ultra light or small, but for the price, it's very good. I had some electrolytes with me to hydrate, and I had 3 bottles. This is just to carry. It's just a smart water bottle that I kept refilling with fresh water, or when I had to, I filtered stream water with my Pure Clear 1 liter filtration system. It's very cheap, about £30 for this. Silicone body, so you can put it into your pocket or wherever you want. And good to have with you. There's a lot of water sources along the West Highland Way, but we used it on several occasions. So it's good to have, because water source may not always be available when you need it, and being parched as you are walking multiple miles every day with a big backpack on your back, you just don't want to do it. Why not get one of them? I highly recommend that one. It's slow, but it does the job. And then another bottle, just in case I need to go during the night without actually going. This little thing, my little mat, foldable mat, extremely light, very small. You can put it pretty much anywhere, bend it however you want. it was extremely useful. Very often I would have to put my backpack on the ground, which was wet, and I would just put this underneath when I stored my backpack during the night in my tent and the floor was wet. I would just put it on top of that so my backpack wouldn't get wet from beneath. I would sit on it when it was rainy. It would give you some extra comfort, not a lot, but it's much better to sit on this than on a branch that is pokey. So really good buy. I would highly recommend having one of those on a trip, especially when you don't bring in chair with you, because I didn't have any ultralight chairs. And this bad boy, as much as it's comfortable, it's huge and heavy. I obviously had to bring my trekking poles with me. This is Silver Point. They're 100% carbon. They did the job. They weren't extremely expensive. I think they were about £100. I mean, even if they're not carbon, aluminum or aluminium will do just as well. You're hardly saving any weight on it. If you're considering buying an expensive pair but you've never used it, you can just go for the cheaper one that compacts well. It really doesn't make that much of a difference when it comes to hiking, in my opinion. I had to use them, and I'm very glad I used them. They came in handy throughout the whole trip. I don't think I would have made it through some parts, especially around Loch Lomond bit, which was very difficult for me to walk, and this worked like an extra leg for me. So extremely helpful, and I recommend it. Also had my little knife, bushcrafting knife. This is BPS knives made in Ukraine with a little flint. I had 3 of those bags. This was for my clothes, this was for any emergency kit, medicine, and this was for food and food related items like my stove, for example. So in this bag I would have my very light Hoka jacket, super light, super thin, very good windbreaker, and just an extra layer. I had a spare t-shirt. I had this t-shirt, those trousers, them ultra shoes, that cap, those glasses. I had a spare pair of socks and a spare pair of underwear. Charging cable. I have my long johns. It was nice to be able to change into something more comfortable at the end of the day and sleep in it and dry my trousers. I had a long sleeve for the same purpose. This is all from Lidl, so I spent about £4 for each item, and it did the job perfectly. I wouldn't spend any more on something like this. I had a little jacket like this just to keep me warm. I used it on many occasions, very handy. And I had a woolly beanie just in case I got cold. I had my poncho, which served 2 purposes, obviously: keeping me dry, an extra layer of protection and just warmth in case I was super cold, which never happened. But because I didn't bring the backpack cover, this also worked as my backpack cover when it was raining, so very handy. Right, my cook kit. Very minimal. I had my titanium cap from Boundless Voyage. This is 300 mils. My MSR pocket rocket. Some propane and a bowl. That was everything. And I would keep food like instant ramen and stuff like that in there as well. I also had a spoon. Titanium from Boundless Voyage spork. In my first aid kit, I had a life system micro first aid kit. I took out some of the things before the journey that I didn't think will come in handy, and I left everything that I thought might be useful. I also brought a little pack of my own goodies, like extra zip bags, some pills, whatnot, an emergency blanket, and a lighter with some duct tape. And I had a deodorant, some toothpaste, and a toothbrush. Right, so this is pretty much everything I brought with me for the West Highland Way. I hope it was helpful for you. I'm happy with the things I brought. Obviously I could have made it lighter if I spent more money, which I didn't do, and I'm not sad about it. Let me know what you think of my gear. Was it helpful to you? Would you bring some other items that I haven't mentioned? Would you skip some of the items that I brought with me? Let me know what you think in the comments below. Thank you very much for watching.